What's up guys, it's RJ, and today we are back with another sneaker video. Instead of some Adidas, which I usually do, or Nikes, which happen periodically, we've got Pumas. I've done one Puma video before on the Shugi Sensei. I'm definitely butchering that, and I feel like I butchered it back when I did the video to begin with, but nonetheless, that video did decently well, and I feel like people are looking at Pumas here and there, so I figured I'd pick up another pair, semi-controversial, and I'm going to address that topic here shortly. Before we do, let's just dive in, dissect the box, open it up, take a look, and we're gonna look at the Hybrid NX, again, from Puma, and all red box. I'm not exactly sure how Puma breaks down their branding and their boxes, but I wanna say that the shoes that fall in the category that would be something like Adidas Originals. I don't know if they're Puma Originals or what they call them, but I believe those are green boxed. I think performance shoes like this, running shoes, come in a red box. And outside of that, I feel like I've seen yellow boxes. I frequent like Puma outlets and stuff like that. I just never find anything that I'm, dying to have. But this shoe came out, it's pretty new, and it's got a dual technology midsole. So let's dive into it. I'll dissect it the best I can. There they are right there. So there you have them right there. Not amazing, but better than some, I suppose, is the best way to put it. I have worn them. I wanted to get a feel for them just so I could, convey everything that I can to you guys. So as always, we'll take one shoe, set the other one off to the side. We have the left shoe in our hand. Right and left shoes are identical as far as aesthetics and all of that kind of stuff. So we'll start like I would any other shoe. The upper is comprised of a full knit upper. Toe box, all the way to the heel panel, all knit. Not anything like a fly knit, not anything like a prime knit, but a knit nonetheless. If you kind of feel inside, there's a backing to it. It's almost a foamy backing behind the knit. So it doesn't feel like a knit shoe when it's on foot, but it's comfortable to say the least. This one right here in particular is a full navy upper. I believe they call it peacoat for whatever reason. And then the accents are gonna be hits of red, like on the lace loops right here, on the Hybrid, on the heel panel, and little Puma guy underneath, but we'll touch on those. Starting with the toe box, you do have Puma branding in giant bold letters right there across the top of the shoe. Not a huge fan of that. I think they could have done without it. It made it look cheap, for lack of better words, honestly. When I looked down on it, I wasn't a huge fan of that. Then the branding continues on the pull tab, which is attached to the tongue. You've got black Puma writing right there, and then white Puma writing right there. I don't know who the main designers are for this shoe. I don't know who's working for Adidas. I just feel like to take it to the next level, Adidas is gonna need to bring on somebody who can think outside the box, just because I feel like they're taking from a lot of people and a lot of other brands and trying to implement too quickly. So back to the shoe, the lace and tongue area, we'll talk about that. You've got cotton, flat, blue laces to match that peacoat upper. Like I said, most of the lacing system are just typical eyelets, and then on each side, both lateral and medial, you've got two red little lace loops, just accents. They don't really do anything. They are, there's not a fly wire system or anything of the sorts built in there. And then the tongue is semi-attached, but it is technically detached. Kind of a suede-ish felt material. It's definitely not suede. It's more of a felt material. Just kind of a weird contrast to the knit upper, but it does its job. When the shoe's on foot, it is fairly comfortable and it does stay in place. The tongue doesn't sway. So mostly I don't like detached tongues. In this case, I don't mind because it does stay in place. With that said, the lacing system is reinforced right here, as most lacing systems like this are, as you can see. Just an overlay right there to keep the laces from pulling out or tearing through the knit, which is fairly typical nowadays. Then heading to the heel panel, you've got a little rubber patch right here overlaying the back panel on the shoe. You've got the little Puma guy right there, one of their logos obviously, and then you've got red Hybrid branding on the back right there. That pretty much talks about the upper. You also have a black pull strap right here. So you've got pull straps on the tongue and on the back of the shoe. I would have probably taken the one off the tongue just because it seems a little odd, but just my thoughts. Before we go down to the more exciting part of the shoe, I'm gonna pull out this insole. It is removable. There is hybrid branding right there. And the one thing this shoe has that most don't, and it's because it lacks a little cushioning in the midsole, is a very thick foam insole. So that's kind of cool. This insole is very comfortable. I'm not sure how it would break down over time, what the longevity would be like on it. But as far as comfort goes, it adds a lot of cushion. Again, kind of a inexpensive way to add cushion to a shoe, you know, where the technology lacks a bit compared to, you know, Boost or React. So I think that's probably what they were trying to do. Like I said, it just kind of seems like Puma's behind on a few things, but they're almost there. You know, they could catch up if they do things correctly. Let's head down to what I'm sure all of you are dying to hear about, is this midsole right here. So like I said, it's a two-part midsole, and we'll start with the less exciting part. Is from the front, which wraps all the way around the shoe, but comes right up to the upper on the back portion and makes room for the bottom right here. The front is just an EVA molded technology called Ignite that Puma's had in their lineup for quite a while. It is very soft in comparison to other brands and other older EVA midsoles. It is very soft, and I will say, in my opinion, one of the better midsoles. I've always liked the Ignite. That's what's on that other Puma shoe that I reviewed quite a while back. And it's a comfortable shoe in the grand scheme of things. Obviously, with advancements in technology and where shoes are going and other brands are going, it doesn't even compare. But for an EVA molded midsole, it is very cushiony and does have a little bit of response like you would expect. Now, with that said, let's head back. Right underneath the heel portion right here is what looks like a very awful knockoff of Boost, but what Puma calls Energy. There's been a battle between Puma and Adidas for quite a while. If you don't know the complete history, the founder of Adidas and the founder of Puma are brothers, and they split off, obviously made their own companies, and you can talk about that for endless amount of time. But there was an argument had and or a legal battle had at whether or not Puma had the rights to use this technology. Adidas uses a company called BASF. I'm not sure what company Puma's using, but it's not BASF. So essentially BASF is the company that supplies Adidas with the Boost cushioning and all that, and they've got, you know, their contracts and everything that goes in line with that. And then Puma's got their own company. So when Puma started with their Energy, it was awful. It was hard. All it did was look like Boost. It looked like it was trying to be something it wasn't. And it wasn't even, in my opinion, as cushiony as the Ignite. But when I picked these up, there's actually a decent amount of cushion to them. So I will say they are making advancements. They are moving forward and trying to do what they can to make this Energy technology better. The only thing I don't like is the shoe is still built upon a last, meaning that if you pull an insole out of a Boost shoe, you can feel the Boost, and you can pull that insole out and not even have to wear the insole because the cushion's still right there. You take this midsole out, you're gonna be on a hard piece called the last, which is essentially the shape of the shoe, and it's just not gonna be comfortable. So if they could do what Adidas has done and remove that and reconstruct the shoe, the Energy technology could be there. A lot of people aren't gonna buy into it just because it looks like they're knocking off Adidas, but as far as comfort goes, it's getting there. It's soft, it's cushiony, there's rebound, it's nicer than it was. So obviously I'm not a huge fan because I'm a diehard Boost fan, but props to Adidas for putting work into the shoe. That's breaking down the midsole. We already talked about the upper. Heading down to the outsole, you've got just a typical piece of rubber, no collaborative branding with any rubber companies out there, just your typical rubber outsole, there for traction, there for stability, and it does its job. Underneath you can see they took a little piece out of somebody else's playbook, and you can see that visible Energy right there from the bottom, and a little window right there. Also says hybrid across the bottom right there. At the end of the day, the shoe retails for $90. So compared to a shoe that's twice the price, I'd say you're getting a decent running sneaker for the price. If you're on a budget, you're looking for a budget sneaker, get you in the gym, get you out on the road for some runs, yeah, it's a good sneaker. Comfort wise, you're about a 7-ish. It is very comfortable. Like I said, I don't know how long that insole will hold and or if it's gonna break down, but it is very comfortable. Aesthetically, looking down at it, it's not gonna be pleasurable. You know, it's not a pretty shoe to look down on. I didn't fall in love with them. All I thought was, this is an affordable, comfortable running shoe. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm gonna leave you guys with. Again, full knit upper, dual midsole, Ignite combined with Energy, rubber outsole. Retail price, $90 USD. Comfort, 7 out of 10. Fit, true to size, I got a 10.5. That's my true to size. It feels great on foot. Not much more to say about that. So I will throw these on foot, give you guys a better look at them. I'm sorry for the lengthy video, but I don't typically talk about Puma, and I wanted to give you guys as much insight as I had and was able to relay to you guys. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a thumbs up on the video. If you haven't already, do me a favor, tap that subscribe button. Trying to grow this channel a little bit. And the reason I ask you to subscribe is because the more subscribers in turn gives me a little bit more money to keep funding the channel. I'm just trying to get this to a point where I can afford to buy the shoes that I'm sharing with you guys. And I'm just trying to be as transparent as possible. So hopefully you guys can appreciate that. Again, I am RJ, and that's gonna do it for me today. Peace out.